Alright, Spider-Man Homecoming. We just saw it today, so we're going to talk about it. And before we get into that, we're going to give you a long, detailed history of what we think of all the other Spider-Man films before we get to Homecoming. So settle down, it's going to be a long one. I'm joking, it's fine. I really enjoy the first three Spider-Man films, I think you do too.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, enjoyable, forgettable. Right, Spider-Man Homecoming. Really enjoyed it. When we saw Spider-Man in this Marvel Cinematic Universe version in Civil War, I thought he was really entertaining. So I was looking forward to this one. Wasn't sure on the title, Spider-Man Homecoming, but now that we've seen it, I can see why they called it that, I guess. And I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah?
I didn't think that I would. I walked into it thinking, oh, it's probably going to be okay, you know, like a typical superhero movie.
Yeah.
With the way they're going now, like, with so much focus on humor and stuff, but I felt like it worked in this one.
Okay.
Like, the character himself, Peter Parker, in this is so young that it makes it even more okay to have those silly things going on, you know what I mean? It's believable.
Right, yeah.
Like the beginning, he films a lot with his phone. It's just his excitement of it all, you know?
Very believable.
Yes. Like, you would film that kind of stuff, wouldn't you? If you're like, okay, I get to be with the Avengers and Tony Stark and stuff, of course I'm going to film this with my phone, you know? So that makes it more believable, and I thought it was really cool too. I felt like I was more there, you know? That usually I don't like in movies, but it really worked in this one. I actually found it funny. I was laughing out loud for a lot of the stuff.
A lot of it I didn't find very funny. That the room we're in, loved it. Like, there was a guy next to us who was like proper like getting up and stuff and like really like just you know, and it's just like, alright, he's still that funny. But
the guy who was next to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
he was
noticed.
really into it. Must have been and like when Stan Lee comes, he's just Stan Lee, yeah, like, we get it.
It was one of the better parts of Stan Lee, almost.
Yeah, good Stan Lee cameos, always standard stuff. Like you're saying, there's a scene where he's messing around and stuff, and then you just see Spider-Man sat on the front of a train, just kind of riding it around, and that to me felt a bit like a scene out of Deadpool. Only I found it funnier, like, and more like you said, because he's a kid. It slots into place with the humor. I believe he must surely be the youngest actor to play Spider-Man in a film.
I'm sorry, I just remembered when he's like giving directions to that old woman or something, because he just wants to help everyone.
Yeah,
he's just waiting for a mission from Tony Stark, and that's the whole movie almost. He just wants to join the Avengers.
That's right, yes.
And so he's just rummaging around in his Spider-Man suit, and he's like, I'm surprised they didn't show him helping a kitten down from a tree. Yeah. Like, that would just...
Well, we saw him rescuing a cat, so I mean, you do see that in the film.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the same scenario, but it was just funny. Like it was realistic in that sense, I think.
I can tell how much you enjoyed it because it's hard for me to get a word in, which is it's fine. I like it.
Reversed roles.
I like it. Yeah, it's good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it that much as well. But yeah, like you said, it's kind of the story of Peter Parker. Got to be with the Avengers for a little bit in Civil War, and now he's like amped up to do more stuff, and there's nothing there for him, and so it's kind of like the jilted lover, you know, like he's gone through a breakup, like he's texting Hogan and stuff, and when's the next mission, and he's got this cool new Spider-Man suit that he got from Tony Stark, and we have the villain. Toombs, I believe was his name, and what I loved was the first scene of the film sets it up, and it's Stark Tower destroyed, and I'm like, wait, did that get destroyed again in one of the recent films? And then you quickly realize this is right after the first Avengers movie. Michael Keaton's character, Toombs, is like the head of I guess city construction, not construction, but some kind of, kind of removal and cleaning up, that kind of stuff, technical work, manual labor, and so he's put a lot of time into this. He's bought new trucks to clear out this space in the Grand Central Station that's been destroyed, and then the government comes in and like, oh no, we'll take care of this, and so he's kind of been pushed to the side, and so he's pissed off, and he's got some of the alien technology that was left behind in the battle in New York, so he decides to take that, and with his crew they start tinkering around with it. And then it's like 8 years later, They've got this facility. They're kind of keeping it under wraps though, and they're developing this new weaponry and stuff, and stealing bits and pieces from the Avengers technology as well. And so he's hasn't become the Vulture, which is the Spider-Man villain, but that's essentially who he is. And so he's got this winged suit, and Michael Keaton plays a Birdman. So there's a funny irony there. But hey, I remember when they
finally got to fly.
I remember when they announced that he was going to be in the running for it. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'd love to see him in a comic book movie again, a big blockbuster movie. And then he pulled out of it apparently, and it was like, oh no. But then whatever, they worked it out, and he was back in it. And so I was really glad, because he's the best part of the film for me. Because I mean, he's my favorite actor, so I'm always going to enjoy seeing him. But seeing him in a big movie like this, he gets to do what he does best, which is just give a charismatic performance. And it's a character who you can understand where he's coming from in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a bit of a screw loose there as well, but ultimately it's someone who's trying to protect their family and also give his family a life that he thinks that, you know, they deserve, because it's like, oh, the rich people up at the top. I mean, it's a very simple kind of psychology. Yeah, Robin Hood, right. It's not like he is hurting anybody, though he takes things a bit far later on as the threat of his operation getting revealed comes into play. That's when he starts kind of being a bit more sinister about it. One spoiler, I'll leave it till the end of the video, but it's to do with his character. So I really enjoyed it. Good humour. Like I said, a lot of the jokes didn't land with me, but a lot of them did. And when the ones didn't land, it was just enjoyable. It wasn't like, oh, that was bad humour. It was just, you know, that's not a joke that'll make me laugh, but it was fine. And then there's some really funny ones. I can't remember offhand, but I did laugh out loud a few times. Peter's friend was hilarious. Really enjoyed his character.
So great. It's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but he finds out that he's Spider-Man. And it's just so funny, all the questions he asks, which is what you would ask, you know, like, how far can you shoot your web? I don't know, dude. I was like, I would test that, you know, how far? I would just stand at the top of a building. I just loved his character, and the way he drops like the Death Star that he built, that
the Lego Death Star.
He's just sat there the whole time, and it's building up, and you knew he was there.
Yeah.
And it was so great. Yeah, he was one of my favourite characters almost.
One of the highlights of the film for sure.
Yeah, he was
really enjoyed him. And probably my favourite joke in the film was when Spider-Man notices something, and he's like, right, he's got to go and investigate. And so he takes off, but there's no buildings around for him to shoot webs off, so he just has to run across a golf course. It's just really funny. It's like, oh yeah, what would he do to get somewhere quickly if there's no kind of things to shoot off of? So.
Oh, and when he's like, he wants school to be over so that he can go out and be in a Spider-Man suit, and he goes into this alley, and the way he's just taking off his jeans and kicking off his shoes, and like, it's really, really non-Spider-Man-ish. It's like, yeah. I
liked how it felt a bit different than the other ones as well. It wasn't a complete retread. I loved that it wasn't an origin story. Like, thank you. Just, we know Spider-Man. We know he gets bitten by... There's a line in it like, so he got bit by a spider. That's all you need. That's all you needed. I'm so glad they decided to go that route and not do the origin story. He's changing. He's...
that
forget all that
funny
shit. We've seen it all. You know, we know who Spider-Man is, so I'm glad that, you know, he's Spider-Man by the time we start the film. It's funny how a lot of the characters, oh, you're that guy from YouTube, which... If Spider-Man was real now, that's what it would be. It would be some, you know, people would catch it on YouTube or whatever. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Do a backflip, Spider-Man. That's pretty good.
It didn't have anything that took it to the next level for me, you know, and that's fine. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. No real complaints, really. Yeah, I will say one of the final fights between Spider-Man and Vulture, which you've seen in the trailers on top of this plane, a little messy, just like I wasn't quite sure what was going on with all
the plane was messy for me too.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Just how it was staged as an action sequence was a bit confusing to see what was going on at all times. But
I was actually thinking that, like, what were they thinking when they were doing this? Were they so used to what they knew was going to be in the shots that they didn't see what we were going to see? Or did they do that because maybe they didn't finish it completely and then they were just covering it up with just shaky camera stuff?
Yeah.
But that was the only really, like, the scene that I didn't see what was going on. Most of it was really great. Like, even the Staten Island ferry thing was really...
Yeah.
That was cool, I thought.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, it's the same. It's like the same Spider-Man 2 when he's doing the thing with the train."
Yes.
And it is, but it's a different spin. So I had no problem with it, you know. And with these films, things are going to get repeated and stuff like that. Tony Stark was good to see him in the film. I think it's outrageous that he got paid $15 million to do 3 days' work, but I guess that's just the way it is with that kind of thing. But he's great in it. Really
I thought
funny.
Happy was good too.
Yeah, Jon Favreau, who directed the first couple of Iron Man movies, and
it's so funny that he's like in it now.
Yeah, and so he's he was a good kind of supporting part for Peter to kind of be bugging and stuff to kind of get involved in the Avengers business. Anything else really to touch on?
MJ doesn't have ginger hair anymore.
Well, it's not really MJ, is it? I think the MJ initials is just a nod to
come
Mary Jane.
on.
Well, her name's Michelle, so it's not Mary
My friends
Jane.
call me MJ.
Well, yeah, but it's more of a cute little... It's like Dark Knight Rises, you know? I like that name, Robin. You know, it's just one of those things that they throw in there.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, come on.
I loved the kind of orchestral, cinematic version of the classic Spider-Man theme at the very beginning during the Marvel logo. That was kind of fun.
I loved her character, by the way.
Yeah,
the MJ character, she was funny.
Yeah,
she flipped him off at one point. It was just like
that was funny.
It was. I guess it was supposed to be serious, but then it just came out of nowhere.
No, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was great. You know what? I can't wait to see it again. I think it's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely not for me. I think those first two Sam Raimi films are just, especially the second one, are just incredible. But
there's no point that I was bored.
Completely wipes the floor with the other two they did, and Spider-Man 3. I like Spider-Man 3, but it's not, you know, it wasn't as good as the other ones. But this one is...
It's among the top of the Avengers movies too.
Yeah, I think on repeat viewings.
The Avengers, the first one.
Yeah.
Obviously,
well,
the favorite.
We're not going to go into our rankings or anything like that, but
well, I think it's important. Like,
okay.
I'm impressed.
There's just so many of them at this point. It's hard to kind of, and a lot of them are just. I love all of them. You know, I really enjoy all of them. So it's not like, oh well, that one's better than that one. I mean, there's so many of them now. It's hard to kind of position everything together, especially when you have ones which are single superheroes and then the team movies. You know, they're a little bit different in the dynamics. But Michael Keaton, awesome. So I mean, that really builds it up for me. And I thought his character was good as well. It wasn't just that it was Michael Keaton and he was, you know, fun and enjoyable to watch as a villain, but a good character as well. And I liked the look of the
great twist with him as well.
Right, and I liked the vulture suit and everything. Just really enjoyed it. And was it Nacho from Better Call Saul? Turned up in a small part, and I
recognized him from above.
And I
knew it was him.
I love him in Better Call Saul, so it was great to see him in a Marvel movie. And there's maybe a hint that he might be in another one, which is good.
Yeah.
I loved the end credit sequence. It's this kind of animated thing, and they usually do cool end credit sequences, but I really enjoyed this one. It was really cool, and
I missed it. I was looking at the bus times.
You're looking at the bus times on the phone. So yeah, a big thumbs up from both of us, I think, for Spider-Man.
2 thumbs up from me.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it again, and to seeing the next one. They've already announced that they're doing another one, which is a big surprise to everyone I know, because Marvel don't usually like to gamble on sequels so early on, but you know, I guess with this one they decided to make an exception. One spoiler.
Do I hold up the sarcasm sign now, or
if you have one handy?
Oh, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I have to draw it out.
Right, so yeah, we've said all we need to say, so one tiny little spoiler, because I need to talk about it, is when Peter goes to pick up his kinda girlfriend. They're not quite together, but he goes to pick her up for the homecoming thing.
Twists.
Door opens and it's Michael Keaton. Now first I thought initially, gut reaction, holy shit, you know, he's kidnapped the girl and he's gonna, you know, whatever. But I didn't realise that he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And it's just this innocent thing and he's the father of this girl.
I thought that was great. I was so shocked.
The whole room went like that, like there was an audible kind of reaction, and I thought that was really cool that everyone got really into that reveal. At no point
did I predict that at all.
No, and it just was. I really enjoyed it because it's a very small thing. First hour of the film, the girl invites Peter to a party she's got, and so he goes along with his friend. And this house is massive. It's like this massive, like just huge, like glass. And I just thought, that's a bit extreme. Like I guess her parents are rich, but it seemed a bit like a movie kind of house for a teenager. Yeah. And then when you see that it's him, it makes so much sense because he's been selling this weaponry for 8 years and obviously has this big house. And I just love that little detail that of course he has this massive house.
And
that's what he's protecting as well.
His wife is so nice and his daughter is so innocent, and it's just, you know he just wants to do good by his family. Like, he doesn't want to be a bad guy, but it's just a greed, He just wants more, and it's just...
Maybe one nitpick, and this is another spoiler, is when he kills that guy, just evaporates him, and then he's like, oh, I thought that was the anti-gravity gun. It's funny, but it's like a serious moment that's kind of thrown away as a gag. It's not as bad as David Hasselhoff in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but it was a bit of a weirdly toned moment.
You know what? I love that part, to be fair. I absolutely love that because I didn't expect him to say that. It's that thing done, It was like, yeah, and then just shoots him, and it's like...
yeah, it's...
I thought it was good, and then, I like that because, I mean, if you did pick wrong, you want them to know about it. You'd be like,
I guess I just think that it would been even more convincing if he was a guy who wasn't ready to... Well, I guess he wasn't ready to kill that guy, but, He
didn't react as if he'd killed someone.
Yeah, exactly. Either. And I loved at the end, we had the kind of mid-credit scene where he's in jail, and his friend comes up to him and says, so you know who Spider-Man is, and he doesn't reveal it. Which maybe that means that he wants to wait till he gets out of jail to get his revenge, or maybe he respects the fact. Smile. Maybe he respects the fact that Peter saved his life at the end.
But he put him in jail.
He did, yeah. But and
maybe he wants to kill him once he gets out.
That's what I said. Yeah. Maybe it's the revenge. I'd love to see him come back. I mean, you probably couldn't do a whole movie around him again. Maybe you could. I don't know. But I'd like to see him pop up again in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That'd be really cool.
He could be Batman's Joker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but Joker wouldn't want anyone else to kill Batman but him.
And there was something else. Right, the scene when he turns around in the car and he's like, I will kill you and everyone you care about. Really cool line that's in the trailer. And
everyone you love.
Yeah, everyone you love. And so, like, I just knew it was coming, and I try not to watch these trailers, but they're in the cinema all the time, especially Marvel movies. And that I've just seen all the big scenes in Spider-Man. Even the last shot of the film was in the trailer. But when he leans around on the car, so I was waiting for a scene in the car. So when he gets in the car, I'm like, oh well, obviously he's going to find out, or he already knows that he's Spider-Man during this scene. So the little details like that get spoiled with the trailers, and sometimes you can't avoid them if you go to the cinema a lot. That's it.
I just want to say how much I love the scene in the house once he saw that he was her dad. It was just as eerie, like I kind of felt what he felt, like it just felt so real,
Yeah.
The way he kept looking at him, but he was trying to like act normal, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then there was a tiny bit of humor with a picture being taken in his
very
smile,
unconvincing smile.
Yeah, it was like that was what would have happened probably. And it was just great.
Good score as well, good music.
Yeah.
Not as iconic as the Danny Elfman stuff, And it's sometimes hard when a big superhero movie has already happened and there's an iconic theme like Batman, Superman and so on. But I thought the score was really good. And special effects are really good. Maybe a little, like some of the bits of Spider-Man jumping around buildings looked a little bit too weightless to me. Like it seemed, well, I don't know. Minor nitpick, but what?
Doesn't he kind of defy gravity a little bit with all his jumps?
He does, yeah. But there's just a couple of scenes where it was not as good as the rest of it, I think. But yeah, and Tom Holland, I think he's a great choice for Spider-Man. I think he's really good.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I don't think I liked him very much in the Avengers movie. So I was like, this kid being Spider-Man,
Yeah.
He was good. He was great. Loved it.
Yeah. So, there we go. We rambled on for a lot longer than I thought, but glad you enjoyed it. And it's, so in a couple of days we're going to see the new Apes movie, which, that's the big one for the summer for me. And it's been
for the year maybe.
And it's been a pretty good year for kind of blockbuster movies. Wonder Woman, which we didn't do a video on, we both really enjoyed that. I think I enjoyed it more than Connie. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2, very good. Logan, incredible. So been some good superhero ones, and then we got Thor later on in the year.
I can't wait for Thor.
Can't wait for Thor. I've loved all the Thor movies. I know people shit on the first one and the second one. I love both of them. So I can't wait for this third one, especially Jeff Goldblum. I just like them using all. They just need to do John Lithgow now. Yeah, they use all these great actors.
You know what you have to say now.
What do I have to say now?
Shouldn't have to stand for it.
We shouldn't have to stand for it. Stand. If you get that reference, well done. If you don't, then you shouldn't have to stand for it. Right, enough now. Thanks for watching. Anything else you want to add?
Oh, there's another movie that I hadn't seen the trailer for that you're...
Valerian and the City of the... I really want to see that one. Luc Besson. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Maybe. She's not in many of the videos, so she'll see you in one of the next ones. I'll see you in the next one.
Good night.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, 'cause